Alright everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Pokémon X, where today we are continuing with the final legendary Pokémon that we can capture that is just generally in the game, and that one would be Moltres. Now, I didn't know this, but apparently there is like a map feature in here where I can look through various different Pokemon, and yeah, I don't know. Okay, so this is what it. There is a map. It's on the bottom screen. It tells you where the Pokemon is. At this current moment, which means it is on Route 6. Is that? So we'll have to just stay up to date with that. I believe we would go this way. Now, I don't know exactly how roaming the legendary is, because I don't know if it stays there until you encounter it, and then it, does whatever, but if it does in fact move quite a bit, I'm also really hoping with this that it stays on Moltres. So it seems that it's staying on Route 6. So let's head on to Route 6 and we'll see if we can find it or not. This will be a bit of a long shot, obviously, because we don't know exactly how long it'll take. I also have a fear of flying when doing any of these roaming legendaries. I find when it comes to roaming legendaries, flying ain't your friend. Alright, so this is Route 7. Now let's see if it's still here. It says it's still here. So we should just be able to walk into some grass and find it. Of course there's a Snorlax just chilling here. Of course there is. Why wouldn't there be? We have to do the stance change as well because, you just have to do it. And there we go. Goodbye, Mr. Snorlax. It was good seeing you again. Right. Let's run into a Moltres, hopefully. Because there's only one Pokemon we would run into. Which is the Moltres, because we have the Repel on, but it's Moltres and it's... Is it level 70? Might be. So... yeah, so it would be the only Pokemon we could run into. So that means we need to encounter it another 8 times! For some reason, that was deemed the smart idea, the smart thing to do. Now, Moltres could be anywhere. That's where it's decided to go now. So let's fly there. I did want to check if flying was going to do anything. Because if flying does make Moltres move, it does. So flying makes Moltres move. That's something that we need to then avoid. Right, okay. Well, I am going to fly over there, but... well, just because it's so far away, we kind of need to get somewhere where Moltres is going to be and stay without it being too crazy. And that whole area getting there from Lumiose can be a bit frustrating. And we've just got to keep loading up the Pokedex and seeing where Moltres is and encounter it how many more times. Okay, that's a little bit easier. We can do that. So let's get over that way. Alright, we've got on the same route again. And it's Route 7 again. So hopefully we'll get our third of 10 encounters done finally. Yes, more repel, and come on, where are you? There we go. Encounter number 3 is here. And this is just gonna take forever, isn't it? I think it is. It's gonna just take as long as possible. Also, the amount of battles that we just avoided is kind of funny. I had to do a couple of those. Alright, let's see where's the next location. I think if we're running to places, it's better, but again, it's like what I'm finding is fly to Lumios, and then you might be able to get lucky. But technically, that's not bad to walk, but it could leave by that point. But I guess walking seems to be the best method. But I'm gonna have to get more repels, I think, or stop using as many. Well, I've run all the way over to Route 18, and hopefully we will be able to encounter Moltres. It seems to be here, and we'll get number 4, our 4th encounter. There we are. Only 6 more to go. Only 6 more to go. This is taking a lot longer than I anticipated. Okay, we're on Route 10 this time, and hopes of what I believe is the attempt number 5, or the fifth encounter of 10. There we go. Not that it really matters which route it's on, but you know, it's taking forever. If it's double the time we've already taken, oh boy. I have found a strategy of basically just fly to Lumios City and then figure out, but it's always good to check just in case, because see, that we can do that. That's easy. That's easy to find. That'll take me 2 minutes to do. Another new route for our finding of Moltres for I think this is number 6 now. This is sped up just a touch as well. It finally sped up just a little bit. So, pretty excited about that. Hopefully, the next 4 won't take as long as they have so far. And I'm also running out of repels. I'm almost out, so I'm going to have to buy some more. Alright, this time it has taken a little bit longer, but Route 4, it went all the way over to Route 18, and then went to Route 4. So when you end up going all the way to Campfire Town, then you have to go all the way back. But that is number 7 now, meaning we only have to look for Moltres 3 more times. And man, am I looking forward to actually being able to catch this thing. Okay, for once we're on the right route, and that's encounter number 8. So we're really getting there. 2 more left. Alright, about time. It's been forever since the last encounter. And there we are. Was this number 9 or number 8? I can't quite remember because so much time has passed. I haven't really even been thinking about it. I'm assuming we'll get a message. I'm assuming we'll get a unique message whenever it's the last one. But anyway, let's keep going. Well, another nearly 15 minutes on from the last time we were able to get an encounter with Moltres. We are finally on the same route as Moltres. It has taken far too long, but we are here. I still don't know if this is number 9 or 10, but it just said the wild Moltres fled this time. I wonder, actually, if I go here, if it'll point out that Moltres isn't on any routes, or if it will point out that Moltres is on a route. I think maybe that'll be the the point. Well, that is interesting that it says over there. Let's see. I'm going to see if it moves, and that'll let me know if we need to encounter it one more time. I'm a bit surprised, but we actually flew to Campfire Town, and all of a sudden, what do you know, Moltres is supposed to be on this route. So let's see if it is, in fact, the last encounter we need. I'm really hoping it is, because this is, although I'm starting to get a little bit of a science down, Wild Moltres fled. So, I mean, this should be the 10th time. And I want to know specifically, I mean, unless you have to do it 10 times without running into any other wild Pokemon. No, you can see there, it is at the little place that we need to go to now, finally. It's just taken so long. So this is the Sea Spirit Den. We need to go to Cormorine City for that. And we can finally go and catch this Pokemon. So I've actually saved already just because I don't want to, I really just don't want to accidentally forget to save in front of Moltres. Which, now that I keep mentioning it, we should probably be fine. But either way, I don't want to accidentally miss out on this and have to do what is, frankly, an hour and a half's worth of running around the Kalos region again. Especially because, well, maybe not especially because, but predominantly just because it's taken a very long time to get to this point, and don't particularly want to do it all over again. Maybe that's just me, maybe I'm a little crazy for that, but, you know, personal preference there, really. Not necessarily the biggest fan of all that. I don't know, is this it already? Is it just, like, right here? Oh, it's a water stone. Cool. That would be useful. No, this is the Skidoo area, isn't it? It is. So we can't go that way, so it must be north of all this? Oh, alright, we got a battle. Okay, hopefully, I just don't want to run into any more Pokemon battles. Alright, well, I think that must be it then, up there. That must be where we need to go. Please no more Pokemon battles. Not because I don't like battling in Pokemon, but because I've been recording for so long. I'm not missing it, am I? Okay, here we go. This must be the Sea Spirit Den. Let's save up. And enter in. And, oh, there we go. So this is a good thing we saved then, because otherwise that would have been a bit tricky. Because I don't know if we're gonna have, well, I just don't know how this battle's gonna go. I am a little interested to see whether or not we should try and use a Thunderbolt, and whether that would one-shot a Moltres. I feel like it just would. It's so hard to tell. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna see if it would one-shot. It didn't. Good to know. We now need to just do the tiniest little bit of damage that is possibly available now. Which I think would actually come from Lily with Petal Blizzard. I just don't think that there's any possibility of that doing much of any damage. Also, I'm loving the music. very retro Gen 1 influenced. If we can hit maybe 1 or 2 more of these, I think we'll be good. Maybe just the 1? Yeah, I don't want to risk any more of that. So, let's go for a wish. And we're going to start throwing Pokeballs at this Moltres. I think I mentioned this a couple times before. Moltres is not one of my favorites of all time. My favorite has to be... Actually, we have a Dusk Ball. We'll try that because it's a cave. But my favorite of all time of the legendary birds is Articuno. I think I just like ice and water types in general I like, but then it does depend a little bit. Like, I really like Ho-Oh. And that's... Oh, in fact, I like Ho-Oh over Lugia, and Lugia is this, like, ocean-dwelling, you know, protector of the seas and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, there's that whole complete switch-up of the theme, but then I like Kyogre over Groudon, I like Dialga over Palkia. It is kind of interesting just liking the Pokemon that are... Well, I think part of it's just whichever was the first that I saw or first that I played. Maybe that does have something to do with it, but that doesn't really work for like an Articuno or anything like that. But then, you know, I like Suicune the best between Suicune, Entei, and Raikou. Again, that's probably just pushed by the fact that Suicune's this kind of unique Pokemon that is really featured in the Gen 2 games and pushed a little bit more. We are getting closer, but not close enough with Moltres here. I'm just thinking about other legendary Pokemon, like, definitely like Xerneas more than Yveltal, but I think there's good reason for that because of the fairy typing and, you know, it's kind of unique. But I think Gen 6 is the last time I really cared about legendary Pokemon that I liked. So there's that. But anyway, we've got Moltres, the flame Pokemon. It is said to be the legendary bird Pokemon of fire. Every flap of its wings creates a dazzling flare of flames. And usually I would probably call this Fox, but we already have a Fox. So... I'm gonna call you Molten, I think. No, that doesn't really work because it's not a Heatran. Maybe just Phoenix. We'll do that. I'm hoping I'm spelling that right. Not that it really matters all too much. And there we go. We have caught the 3 legendary Pokemon you can catch in this game. For some reason, it's only 3. Now, I haven't checked on any special event Pokemon or anything like that, and I do think there were some. But I don't know if it was more gift things or whether you actually have to go out and catch them. So, these are things that I will have to take a look at and take into account as we go forward. But that's going to be it for this episode. If you enjoyed, make sure you go ahead, hit that like button, and subscribe. Please do, because this took forever to make this video. And I'll see you all next time. Take care.